Good morning, angel mommies and daddies. I want to welcome you here to a club you never wanted to be in. Um, my name is Amy Fulmer. I am an angel mom, just like you guys are. If you're tuning in today, you've probably lost a child, although this podcast is not limited to parents. I want to be very clear on that. I also, hold on here. I had a little issue with my computer. I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. Um, okay, there we go. I want to welcome you here, and I'll tell you why. Um, our society is not trained on any level or equipped to deal with the very specific pain of a grieving parent or family member, a sister, brother, aunt, uncle, immediate family. We are just starting now to recognize that this very devastating and global heartbreak and grief deserves a much bigger spotlight and resources for help for you guys and me. My son died in 2014. Back then, there was not a lot of support. The internet hadn't reached the level that it had today. So you went to therapy, you went to bereavement groups, that was fine. But the purpose of this video is to reach everybody quickly and easily for when you are having a moment of severe pain, which will be your journey. In this podcast, I'm going to keep these segments very short. A grieving brain just can't handle a lot of input. Brain scans have shown that a grieving brain is actually very different. That's what I've been educated on. So we're going to keep my messages here short and sweet. This is so you can click it on. You can be in a car. You can be in a parking lot. You can be in your bathroom getting ready for work. You can be in a closet. You could be in a store. You could be on your couch sobbing unconsolably. But understand that I am here to show you what worked for me. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, okay? So this is for educational purposes only. What I want to talk about today is something that happened to me, because it will most likely happen to you. It was about maybe 2 months after my son died. I lived in a very small community, and I'm going to say, in aggregate, everyone was incredible. The outpouring of love that I was shown saved me. But what we have here that I'm going to talk about, because I think it's going to happen to you guys, and I want you to be prepared and not let it throw you like it threw me. And in my book, I labeled it, I think I have a chapter for it, and it's called Death Cooties. And that's a term that I kind of came up with. Now, let me tell you what happened to me that made me think about this term and write about it in my book. I was walking down a street, a pretty busy street, and coming towards me off in the distance on the same side of the street was two community members that I knew. I definitely knew. I would call them acquaintances / slightly friendly. And when they saw me, they were laughing and walking and talking. And I believe one might have been a mother and the other might have been an elder child. They definitely knew my son. And they saw me and they looked up and they slowed down their walk. I could tell they definitely recognized me. We were quite a ways away. And I saw the younger child lean in to what I believe what was the mother and whisper sign, kind of got close to their face and said something. And then I saw them look around and jaywalk across a very, very, very busy boulevard where I lived. Like you would not jaywalk on this street. And then I saw them get to the other side of the street and they kept looking at me. And then I saw them duck into a store. Now, do I think they were going to the store? Maybe, could have. But I will promise you, they saw me and they moved across the street. So it was at that moment I realized that I had a stigma attached to me as an angel mom that for some people, not all, they were so uncomfortable in their skin about seeing me that they decided to duck out. And I was shocked. I didn't know what to make of it. I was messed up for like 3 or 4 days after that. And over the years, I pondered that. And when I wrote my book, I wrote about Death Cooties because after having experienced this, it was so like the cognitive dissonance in my brain was exploding. Like, why would they run away from me? What did I do wrong? You know, what was it about my son's death that made them so completely uncomfortable that they just couldn't at least stay on the same side of the street? Now, I'm assuming they crossed because of me, but given what I saw, I'm going to go with that. And the reason I'm going with it is I want you guys to be prepared if you all run into an associate, a community member, could be someone like a teacher in your community. It could be anybody that knows that you've lost a child and they act a little weird. Just put that in the Death Cooties category. I am not faulting these people, and I don't want you to either. But what I don't want you to do as angel parents, and it could even be, you could even be like, it could be your brother or sister that died and this happened. This phenomenon can happen to anybody related to the bereaved child. I don't fault people for having this reaction. This is not what I'm saying here, and I don't want you guys to think that this is a blame game situation. We all take responsibility for what goes on in our life. That's the only way to heal. But I want you to be aware that you could run into this, and please, please, please do not take it personally. Do not take it a reflection of your child that died. Do not take it as a reflection that you did something wrong or there's something wrong with you. I personalized this for a hot minute. I was like, wow, is there something wrong with me now? Am I tainted? Is it like leprosy? Is that what this is going to be like for you? And what I found through my journey over 12 years since my son passed, not so much anymore, but in the early days, and I'm going to call the early days the first 5 or 6 years, I would run into people from time to time that had heard my son died. And you're going to get everything from they act like it didn't happen to people who are so wonderful. They literally are lifelines for you. So I want you to know that this could happen. The point of this podcast is to walk you through what you can anticipate, what you can't anticipate, what worked for me, and what didn't work for me. It is to be a light for you. And I love the YouTube vehicle as a transmission resource. Is YouTube was not quite as evolved when my son died. I would have listened to podcasts. I did join several online bereavement groups. I found them very draining. I didn't have the mental stamina to go into chats. There's an old saying that hurt people. And there's a lot of people hurting in those chats. So you have to kind of be careful. I'm not saying avoid them. No. Some of them are wonderful. But there will be days you just don't have the energy. So this is a resource for you. If you know of someone who's hurting, please share this. Like, subscribe. I also want to give you a free resource and information about where you can find my work. Number one, in the description, there's a link to the Parent Survival Checklist. That is a free downloadable resource. That resource has been viewed in over 70 countries and downloaded. It actually went viral when I first put it out. Also, there's a link to my book on Amazon titled Don't Trip Potato Chip. It has a hidden meaning, and the title has a hidden meaning, and you can find it there. You can order it in paperback or e-copy book. It is something for you to read to soothe your soul. It takes you through my journey about how I came to move from being, oh, wrecked isn't even the word, um, seriously contemplated suicide to where I've arrived, so I could breathe and walk and live again. And I promise you guys, you will breathe and walk and live again. But this is not an easy journey. And I would be lying to you if I said it was. Okay? You will always get the truth from me, as however painful as it may be. And I think that wraps up the message for today. Is what I'm trying to say is that people in our world, the loss of a child, it's incomprehensible for the average brain to wrap their head around. And so we really, as a society, I love the term Death Cooties because it's almost like people just can't even deal with it. And I don't fault them, but I don't want you guys to feel like there's something wrong with you or your child. And understand it may happen. I pray it doesn't. But if it does, do not take it personally and understand it's part of the process. So we're going to wrap up here. I'm sending love to you guys, healing, and, bye for now.